Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending June the 1st, 2022. You know, it's no secret, prices are trending downwards, and if you are in the market looking to purchase, let me tell you a strategy that is serving our customers well, and we've had some success with it. You know, as you're looking for properties, there's lots of buyers that will see a property that they like, and instead of going in and putting an offer, they'll kind of wait and say, you know, oh yeah, we really love this house, but let's just wait for price to come more in line to where we'd like it to be. Which is, you know, okay, I guess you can wait for prices to come in line. But one thing I always tell my buyer clients is, if it's a good house for you, it's probably a good house for a lot of other people as well. And so the way the home is priced right now, not a lot of buyers are putting in offers on that property, and that's why it's sitting on the market. But it's a good house. And if the sellers were to readjust the price in line to where it should be, a more aggressive price, well, then probably a lot of buyers are going to be interested in putting an offer. So from a house sitting there, all of a sudden, there's now lots of interest when the price gets adjusted. And I don't know about you, but most buyers don't want to be in that situation. I don't want my buyers to be in a situation of waiting for the price to come down and then having to compete for that property. So a strategy that is serving our buyer clients well is that before the price gets adjusted, we're putting in an offer. We're not giving the seller the price that they're after. We're putting in a price at where it makes sense for my buyer clients. And we're negotiating. And sometimes there's a bit of a difference between our offer and where it's currently listed. And my thought process is that, well, if the house isn't selling, it's not the first day that the house comes on the market. It's been on the market for a while at a price that isn't working. Well, I don't know at what stage the seller is considering dropping the price. But if I can get an offer in there and negotiate that lower price, well, we're the only ones negotiating. We're not competing with other people. So instead of waiting for the price reduction, you could negotiate that price reduction one-on-one with the seller. And it's a far better strategy than waiting for the price to come down where it's advertised to the world and now you're competing with everybody else. Strategy matters, who you hire matters, and strategy changes depending on the situation. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way I'll know ahead of time. I'll make sure I'm organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. And if you're in the market to purchase an awesome executive townhouse, check out the video at the end of this video. Okay, so we're going to get into the numbers now, and you know, there's lots of talk all over the place about market coming down. I say the market is softer than when it was at the beginning of the year. Our prices are softer. Sales are much softer. Prices are lower. There's no doubt about it. People using the word crash, yeah, I'm not comfortable saying crash because prices are just not there yet. I don't know if they're ever going to be, but we are softer. And the suburbs around the City of Toronto seem to be more softer, with a lot more lowering of prices than what the City of Toronto is doing. Toronto seems to be a lot more resilient when it comes to the level of price decline. Let me show you what I mean. Here we have for the City of Toronto, this is for detached properties only, broken down by week for a year. Now, I've got up to week ending June 1st, but let's look at the previous week first. For week ending May 25th, we sold 141 detached properties. 31 were at $2 million or more. Average sold price, $1,782,000. Going now to this week, well, sales jumped up from 141 to 187. The amount of properties selling at $2 million or more went from 31 to 66, so more than doubled. And average sold price jumped up to $1,939,000. Now, it's all a combination. It's really easy to say that, oh, of course, average sold price is much higher than the previous week because we sold more than doubled the amount of properties at $2 million or more. But the fact that we sold more than double the amount of properties at $2 million or more on its own says something about the market. And when we look back, we could see that when the amount of property selling at $2 million or more is less than a third, average sold price, less than a third of all the sales, average sold price is really low. So here we go. This week we're sitting at an average sold price of $1,939,000. The previous week at 31, we jumped down to 1.7. The lowest numbers here are when amount of property selling at $2 million or more are in the 30s. So we sold here 32. Average sold price is $1,762,000. We sold 35 here for week ending March 23rd. Average sold price is 1.6. That's the pattern that we're seeing. So yes, prices are down from the 2 million, but the norm seems to be in the 1.9 and change million. So that's where we are, just under the 2 million mark when we kind of average, or 1,930, 1,940 seems to be the average over the last several weeks. So 1,782 is not the norm, which we had previous week, but 1,939 is more in line with what the normal price is right now for detached prices. Naturally, what happens over the next few weeks is going to dictate that, but I'm going to show you months of inventory also and what's been happening with that. Continuing on with Toronto detached, $1,939,000 as the average sold price is 4% higher than where prices were a year ago. Now, we used to talk about 20% higher, 25% higher. We're into the single digits now. We're 4% higher than where we were last year. Median price, which is the burgundy, is 2% higher than where median price was a year ago. When we look at sales overall, of the 187 that sold, 58% sold at list price or more. So you're competing in a little bit more than half. And year-to-date sales, so January 1st to June 1st, we are 25% less sales this year than what we were selling last year at this time. Listings year-to-date are 11% lower this year than what they were last year. And we listed 458 detached properties, which is a little bit higher than what we've been listing over the last few weeks. And it's not that far off from what we were listing last year. At this time, we listed 484 last year. Active listings is up, but because sales have gone up quite a bit from the previous week, months of inventory has come down. Now, months of inventory coming down makes for a little bit more of a tighter market where if months of inventory continue to come down, we could see prices going up again. Well, prices have been coming down because months of inventory has been going up. But in this week, months of inventory has come down to now 1.7 months of inventory. This is all the city of Toronto. When we break Toronto down into three sections, West, Central, and East Toronto, well, we can see the spread in average sold price here. For Central Toronto, the average price is over $3 million for the average detached price. For West Toronto, it's $1,825,000, and for East Toronto, and East Toronto's been seeing quite a bit of a decline. Average sold price is $1,280,000. Let's just zero in on these markets. So West Toronto, We sold 64 detached properties there. 61% sold at list price or more. Average sold price is 12% higher than what it was a year ago. Median price is 5% higher than what it was a year ago. And months of inventory has come down to 1.5. So from 2 to 1.5 just in a week, because we saw the extra sales. And when you do the math, it brings months of inventory down a bit. Looking at Central Toronto, we sold 51 detached properties. A little bit more than half, 53 sold at list price or more. Average sold price is 12% higher than what it was a year ago, and median price is 8% higher than what it was a year ago. Months of inventory was 3.5. For the current week that we're looking at, it's come down to 2.6 months of inventory. And like I said, average sold price for Central Toronto is over $3 million. $3,013,000. Let's look at East Toronto. Now, East Toronto has been seeing a big decline in average sold price. Average sold price now is sitting at $1,280,000. We sold 72 detached properties in east part of Toronto. East part of Toronto is basically East York, Leaside, Scarborough, everything from Broadview, Don Valley Parkway, east. We sold 72, 58% were at list price or more. Average sold price is 1% higher than what it was a year ago at this time. Median price is 2% higher than what it was a year ago this time. And months of inventory has come down from the previous week. It's now sitting at 1.2 months of inventory. Let's take a close look at semis. We sold 66 semi-detached properties across all the city of Toronto. 70% sold at list price or more. So semis are still somewhat very competitive. Average sold price is 15% higher than what it was a year ago, and median price is 13% higher than what it was a year ago. Average sold price went up from the previous week. It's now sitting at $1,445,000. It has come down from the high 1.5s over, and this is just over the span of a couple months, but it has come down from the high 1.5. It's now mid 1.4 million. Months of inventory, it's come down a little bit. It's now sitting at 1.3 months of inventory. And townhouses, now these are freehold townhouses. We sold 28. We don't do a lot of freehold townhouse sales. 28 in all the city of Toronto. 64% sold at list price or more. Average sold price is 5% higher than what it was a year ago, and median price is 1% higher. Average sold price, it's a little bit lower than the previous week, but not by much. It's sitting at $1,232,000. Months of inventory also has come down. So far every market segment I've been talking about, months of inventory has come down from the previous week. We're now sitting for townhouses, 1.1 months of inventory. Let's look at condos, and this is for all the city of Toronto. Sales jumped up from the previous week. We sold 268 condos. 41 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price is up from the previous week. It's now sitting at $806,000. So whereas the detached markets, semis and towns, they've been kind of, since the peak at the beginning of the year, have been coming down at a certain rate. Condos have also been coming down in price, but at a lesser rate. Average sold price was in, I guess we'll say the mid 800,000s at the peak, and now we're at 806. So it's come down, but not that much. Compared to last year, 806,000 is 8% higher than what it was a year ago. And when we look at median price, it's also 8% higher than what it was a year ago. Where are we here? Sorry. What? Oh, sorry, I went the wrong way. Hit the wrong button there. Confused me there. Sales. Of the 268 that sold, 55% sold at list price or more. And year-to-date sales were 23% lower sales this year in condos than what we were selling last year. Listings are only 2% lower when we compare year-to-date listings. active listings did go up a little bit, and we listed 796 condos last week, very close to what we were listing last year of 804. But months of inventory, just like all the other home types and market segments, months of inventory has come down. It went from 3 months of inventory, we're down to 2.4 months of inventory. So the market got tighter. Prices went up a little bit in many of the areas. And a quick summary of all the months of inventory, they've all come down. Now, I'm not telling you, oh, the market has rebounding. This is just 1 week. We want to see trends over several weeks to really be able to look at it. But the market is pretty resilient, and the Toronto market has not bottomed out like maybe a lot of people are suggesting. There are some much better prices than what we had at the beginning of the year, but the market is not terrible. Not with these kinds of months of inventory, and not when months of inventories actually come down a little bit from the previous week. Hope you found this information useful. Hope you know a little bit more now at the end of this video than what you knew at the beginning of the video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Here we are at 456B Horner Avenue. This is an executive townhouse located in Alderwood. It's a popular neighborhood in South Etobicoke. It's a big townhouse, over 1,800 square feet. Have a look at some of the amazing features.